Good afternoon, sir. My name is Harsh Vardhan Singh and I am a student of BCom program section C. My topic for today's presentation is rule of title of transfer on sale, which basically comes under Sales of Good Act 1930. So the rule of title of transfer on sale refers to the legal principle that the seller of property must have a clear and marketable title to the property being sold in order for the buyer to receive good title to the property. That simply means that the person who is the seller should have a clear and marketable title in the court of law and property being sold. Matlab the property should be legal and the title holder must be the person who is selling the property, so that the buyer could receive the good title of the property. Good title means a legal title of the property that is being sold. The seller must have full ownership and the legal right to transfer the property to the buyer. Seller should have a proper legal rights, and it should not have any suits or case pending in a court of law. So in that case, the property will be sold to the buyer legally. It applies to various types of property such as real estate, personal property, and intellectual property. Intellectual properties are properties such as geographical indications, patents, copyright, etc. And it's a fundamental principle of the property law, and it's essential to ensuring that the buyers receive proper legal ownership of the property they purchase. So in that way, I can say that it's a particular principle that the proper legal ownership should be maintained by the seller in order to the property which is being sold and purchased by the buyer. In practical terms, if we speak, the rule of title of transfer on sale means that the seller must provide evidence of ownership that he or she may have and clear title to the property being sold. For example of evidence of ownership is like title deed, bill of sale, or any other legal documentations. So this type of documentation should be examined and verified by the buyer and the legal representatives, which is mostly lawyers and assistants. Legal representative verified by the buyer and legal representative, or a title company, to ensure that the title is clear and free from any liens and income barriers. Liens and income barriers means anything in the case which means in a case of fraud or a legal suit pending in a court of law of that particular property that makes it voidable to be transferred. So it should be properly examined by the buyer and its legal representative that it shouldn't have such kind of things for that particular property. If the seller does not have any clear and marketable title to the property, the buyer may be at risk of legal disputes or challenges to their ownership in the future. Means the seller should have a clear and marketable title for the property. Otherwise, for future, the risk of legal disputes or challenges of ownership in the future will be at stake on head for the buyer. Therefore, it is essential for both the buyers and sellers to ensure that the rule of title of transfer on sale is followed in property transaction in any ways, and it must be maintained that the property should have a proper legal accountability and it shouldn't be illegal while it's been transferred, and the owner should have a proper ownership of that particular property, and he should be of sound mind and in full conscious while transferring his property to the buyer. For example, A is the seller and B is the buyer. A sells his property to B to present every legal documents regarding the property with no flaws in it. It must include all legal document, as I said, like sale deed, transfer deed, etc. of the property, and it that means that the property is legal and valid, and it must be examined by the buyer and the party, which is B, that the property is legal in terms of its legalities, and it's not illegal while the property is being sold. It should be examined and verified by the legal representatives to avoid any other further issues while the sale takes place. I can remind you of some of the case laws which is regarding the rule of title of sale on transfer, like Joginder and Goyal versus Government of NCT of Delhi, and Ors on it's of 2016, and Nathuni Shah and Ors versus Satyanarayan Prasad and Ors on in 1960. So it's the basic two major case laws regarding this act, and that's basically all that I wanted to say about this topic. Thank you, sir, and have a nice day.